So Kell Brook is releasing some information right now about taking that fight with Golovkin. I've said recently, I don't know if many people on YouTube recently have even brought up that fight. I'm probably one of the only YouTubers that's brought up that fight in the last 6 months. But I told you guys about Kell Brook having some difficulties with the Golovkin fight. And he said recently that that's the only fight he's ever questioned himself before actually getting into the fight. For preparation for the fight. As far as before the fight, in the hotel room, just overall, just thinking of what he's gonna do. And of course, you know what I'm saying, he was fighting a middleweight and he was a welterweight, so, and the thing about it is he's still not even making excuses. That's the crazy part about it. Like, he's not even making excuses. And back then, I don't know, the people around him, it sounds like he was talked into thinking that he had a chance in the fight. Because thinking back now, it sounds like he didn't really feel like he obviously had a chance. So that's kind of hard to kind of reveal after a while when you kind of think about certain things. Like, oh, I could have just relaxed or sat back and actually had a better chance. And now when you look at Kell Brook, he's kind of struggled over the years ever since that fight. I know a lot of people say, well, the Errol Spence fight took a lot out of him. Well, listen, he was hurt before the Errol Spence fight. And if you think Errol Spence, that one fight took a lot out of Errol Spence, well, you can say the same thing about a lot of other boxers. Errol Spence isn't the hardest puncher. There's a lot of other guys that hits harder than Errol Spence. So he's not the hardest puncher that guys have faced, to the point where they need to watch out and be careful of different things. That's definitely not what we're saying. We're just saying, as far as overall, those guys are Kell Brook, he just had a harder overall as far as going against Golovkin. And then Golovkin, he really didn't have to fight Kell Brook to kind of go after a welterweight. And if you look back now, Kell Brook wasn't the right welterweight to go after. And he couldn't go after Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford was like 135, 140 back then. So you couldn't go after him. So it makes everything kind of look wild right now as far as the way these guys are going about the sport of boxing. And it just lets you know that Kell Brook, he felt like he shouldn't have been in the Errol Spence fight. He felt like he wasn't fully recovered. He said that his body had already transformed into a middleweight because he was trying so hard to get into the middleweight status as far as overall his body. And you can kind of tell when he got up to middleweight or tried to get up there, he tried to put on a lot of weight. It wasn't really natural because, listen, he's going against Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really something that people try to say, well, 10 pounds doesn't make, it means a lot. Especially when it comes to skill and different guys trying to do different things in the sport. It matters. If you're a Kell Brook and you're trying to fight a Golovkin, it matters. Those 10 pounds matter. So a lot of people that were not in the sport, a lot of promoters and guys who just match make, they get these guys, they throw a couple of dollars in front of these guys and get them to think that they have a chance. And now he looks back and he's thinking like, oh, because I tried to chase that one fight with Golovkin, I could have had 5 or 6 more fights instead of ruining myself. But that's what these guys don't know. And I try to say it all the time, but you would think that the media over there in the UK would try to find reasons why Kell Brook should have some kind of favor as far as, or some kind of grace as far as the process he's been through as far as in his career. But a lot of people don't even know. They don't really care either. They don't really think that he had a lot of damage in that fight. But he got a lot of damage in that fight. And that goes to show that weight bullying stuff ruins careers. They be ruining guys like that. And he just letting you know. And he didn't even say it. He's trying not to put it on. He's trying to say it more like he shouldn't have gotten her. He never said I shouldn't have took the Golovkin fight. says I never should have took the Earl Spence fight because his body wasn't ready to adjust. But that just lets you know. But he was saying though, when his bones was basically getting crushed on his eye. So he was he was getting overpowered. Golovkin was too big. Those guys are walking around 170. Sitting around fighting on the guy who's fighting at 147. Come on, man. We can't even make that's not even it's not making sense. And we just giving passes though. Certain people. And Kell Brooks, he had to bounce back. And he's taking some big fights. He got a rough resume too. He got a tough resume. If we look at Kell Brooks' resume, he can complain all he wants to. He still ain't complaining. But that lets you know. But when I bring up guys like Joshua and all these other guys that's being protected, but when you put a guy like Kell Brooks, we got him fighting Golovkin, going up, getting his eye crushed. And people trying to make excuses of why, you must be a Joshua hater. Y'all must be Kell Brooks haters. Because y'all going up there letting him get crushed for a guy that's not even from where you're from. Yeah, y'all, I guess y'all don't support Kell Brooks like that. Because y'all obviously don't know what's going on or what happened. The man got damaged. He said he did. Shouldn't have took the fight. He know he shouldn't have took the fight. He ain't gonna say it, but he shouldn't have took the fight. He's saying, I shouldn't have took the Spence fight. No, you shouldn't have took none of those fights. You shouldn't have took any fight. That's what the problem is. You shouldn't have took any fight. Any fight is too much. You shouldn't have took any fight. That guy get his eye crushed, man. And then we sitting up here talking about, oh yeah, well, Golovkin, he was fighting the best guys. And I just told you guys a couple of weeks ago, look up the video. I just put a video out that says Golovkin and Kell Brook was Golovkin's best win. Golovkin got that stardom. Haven't beat a bigger name since. But people try to make it seem like, oh, he didn't need those fights. If he wouldn't have had the Kell Brook fight, his resume would be even worse. And that's bad. That's a welterweight. And somebody can say he can do whatever he wants. Man, please. Never. He'll never be able to do whatever he wants. Not in this sport. On your network, maybe. In the sport of boxing, never. All them cupcake fights he took, nah. Dudes think that just because I beat an American, I got bragging rights. Nah. You beat an American, but that ain't no big deal. It's a big deal to you, it ain't a big deal to me. Not a big deal to me. Half of these guys y'all beat not even in the real weight class like that. Then they retiring after a couple of fights. Nah, we can't respect those kind of resumes. And we see how people just do Kell Brook. Just throw him off like that. They don't care about his eye, about his well-being. They just want to make sure they can get a victory and move on. They try to beef up these guys' resumes with welterweights. But him and Canelo, they try to say, man, Kell Brook went up for that Canelo fight at 168. Ain't nobody mentioned that though. They didn't do anything. Nobody mentioned that Canelo Golovkin last fight. That was one of the worst fights I've seen ever. Nobody mentioned that fight. Nah. When we try to get credit for trilogies, never. But Kell Brook a warrior though. He did something Golovkin would never do. He would never go up 2 weight classes and fight a guy. But that's all I got though. Like and subscribe.